Hi, my sugar friends. Welcome back to Sophisticakes by Mary. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make this arch cake, which is a take on the cake top forward cake, which was a trend for a long time, still seeing it. And now arches are a new trend. So I thought I'd go combine both of them together and add a few extra special touches. So first of all, I baked up, these are two 10-inch cakes and one 8-inch cake. One of the 10-inch cakes is twice as thick as the other because I had a thicker pan, so I did 3 of those. And then I'm going to use some parchment paper and anything you can find that's going to give you the arch shape for the top. I tried to find 3 different sized circles and use those to create the arch at the top, and then just draw down a line with your ruler to make the straight sides. And trying to figure out how I wanted to arrange these, I decided I wanted to cut one of those arches in half just for an extra touch there. And this is how I decided to arrange them. Now we're gonna get our cakes ready. I'm just leveling off the top, and this cake that is twice as thick, I went ahead and I cut that in half. And we have 2 layers there. Now set it aside and get your next cake. And I just leveled off the top there and stacked them up. And then we're doing the same thing with the 10-inch. I think they're 12 inches and 10 inches, come to think of it. Now I'm carving this down, the 3 layers together before I fill them. I just find it to be a little less messy. And since this is a basic shape, it's nothing too complicated like a 3D shaped character cake or something like that. It's easier, I find, to trim it down with the 3 layers together. Then you make sure you get all of them the same size. And this one I felt like was a little too wide, so I went ahead and just trimmed it down. All of them I kind of moderated, I think I mean modified, once I got them cut, and you can kind of visualize how they're fitting together better once you get the extra cake cut away. And I did do the 2 arches in the front. I didn't want them to be too deep, so I just did 1 layer of cake. If you want to, you could cut this in half, layer it up, put a filling in between if you want to, but I didn't want to make it any thicker than I had to because they were going to be stacked in front of the bigger cake in the back. Now this is how I went ahead and frosted them. I put a little parchment paper down, anchored it down with your buttercream or your ganache, whatever you want to use. Lay some more of the ganache or buttercream on top of that. Level it out somewhat. Put your first layer of cake down and then do your filling. I would not suggest doing a fruit filling or any kind of a soft filling in these types of cakes because it's going to be standing up. And you don't want to mess with the structure of the cake. That would make it too damageable. You couldn't guarantee that gravity would not grab a hold of that soft filling. So just pull up your buttercream or your ganache from the bottom of the board up onto the cake. Don't waste that. And then add a crumb coat all over the rest of the cake. This is just your crumb coat to lock it into place. And once I got that crumb coat on there, I put it in my freezer for about half an hour just to make sure that it was firmed up nice and good, so that I could move on to the next step and not have to worry about damaging the cake. Now we did the same thing with the other 2 cakes. Just a layer on the bottom on top of some parchment paper. Lay your cake down on top of that and do your crumb coat on the rest of the cake. Now this can take some time to get the buttercream on there well, just because you're dealing with not a square or a circle or a rectangle. This has some arches to it, so just take your time. The crumb coat does not have to be real neat. It's the second coat that you want to make sure that you get a little bit cleaner. Okay, actually a lot bit cleaner. So I didn't show you the smaller arch. It's the same thing. And this is our final coat of buttercream. These are all buttercream cakes with some fondant decorations. You can mix the 2 together. If people prefer buttercream to fondant, then don't worry about it. They can peel that right off. And this cake was nice and chilled, so that final layer of buttercream went on real easy. Just like I said, a little time consuming is all. And then do the same for your other 2 cakes. I used Color Mill food coloring. I have been converted to Color Mill. I love it. And this was the wedding color palette. There was blush, and I used taupe And Java, was that the other color? I believe that was the other color. No, sorry, lavender. Sorry. Yeah. Actually, I did use all of them. I keep tripping over my words here. I used the Java on some of the decorations, but the cakes were the lavender, the blush, and the taupe. And here I'm using a strip cutter tool that if you use it in this way and don't push it all the way through, you can use this to create some ribbing on your fondant. It's a nice little touch. Part of what I wanted to do with this cake was have 3 different cakes, 3 different shapes or sizes, and 3 different textures. And this is really cool. This is an Angela Morrison texture mat for fondant. And I got this. And guys, let me tell you, I was a little skeptical when I got it because it's more of a kind of a foam texture made out of a kind of a foamy material. But let me tell you, these tiny, tiny, tiny details, they came through so sharp and so nice, and I guess it's because the foam has some give. It's not rigid, so your fondant can work its way in there. I'm gonna have to use this mat again so that you can see more of the details, but this wavy pattern I think is gorgeous. It's nice. It's abstract, but still kind of classic because you kind of have the little pearl accents in it. Now setting those aside to firm up a little bit, and in the meantime, we're gonna make our decorations, our chocolate decorations. I did some chocolate fans, and this is with just white chocolate, and I added those Color Mill colors to this as well. The Color Mill colors are a oil-based food coloring, so you can use it in buttercream, fondant, and especially chocolate. You want, really preferably, a oil-based coloring for chocolate so it doesn't seize up. And I'm just tapping out those air bubbles, and I did 3 different things. I did the fans, I did the half spheres, and the spheres. And I did do these. I only show you in the pale blush, but I also did some in the what was the other one I said? Khaki? No. Taupe. Sorry guys, I'm tired. I'm tripping over my words. And then put your fondant on top of your buttercream on the top. And do your flippity-do thing here again. We're doing a lot of that in this technique. I prefer that when you're doing the cake top forward type designs where you need basically all but the bottom covered in buttercream. And they're going to stand up. So I like to do this way. And then go ahead and flip it up on its end. And since it's chilled, you can handle it a little bit for a little while. And add some buttercream to the back just to smooth that out. Now this part probably wasn't as necessary for these 2 front pieces since you're not going to really see the backs, but for the big one arch in the back, definitely necessary. And I did the same thing with my small arch. And isn't that pretty? I love that. And now our decorations are cooled, so we can just pop them out of their molds. With this mold, be careful, your stems are gonna wanna break off. They always do to me. The bigger ones always break off. So I just accommodated for that. I knew it was gonna happen. And then we have our big boy here. Definitely standing this one up on our base, which is just a clear acrylic disc. I like to use these as my bases for my demonstration cakes because they're reusable and you don't have to worry about them matching your decor because they're clear. It doesn't matter. And I could see that this one was angled up just a little bit in the front, but I'm not going to worry too much about it because with all the details, you're not going to really notice that because we're going to have some floral on the top. Now attach the other 2. I put some buttercream on the board and a little buttercream on the back so that it's anchored to the board and to the cake in the back. And the 3rd texture, we're adding some stippled texture with a pastry brush. This is the same buttercream. I just dipped my brush in the buttercream, removed the excess on a paper towel, and just stippled it on there. That was a really easy way to get some extra texture, guys. If you're trying to figure out how to do texture in an easy way, try that. Now I'm dusting on some Truly Mad Plastics Rose Gold onto a lot of these chocolate decorations. Rose Gold I thought would go really good with the color palette. And I'm also using the same rose gold mixed with some Everclear to paint on the details on our texture matte cake on the front. I'm just using a fine-tipped paintbrush. Now don't worry about painting all of the details. Leave some as just an extra element of texture. Things in threes is what I say, is what I like. So you got the plain background, the painted part of the beads, and some of the lines, and then you have some of them left the same color as the background. Then I added a little bit of the the rose gold luster dust on some of the textured part. And then I'm just arranging my floral. Now these are silk flowers. To make this food safe, you would wrap your stems in some floral wire or some floral tape, or you can put some straws inside of your cake and then put the flowers in there if you prefer to do that. Now, guys, don't come at me. That baby's breath is artificial. I know. We get lectured all the time with baby's breath. We know. It is toxic. And then I'm just adding some more of the dried flowers and some of that boho chic kind of florals. Now, you would not have to add the green if you didn't want to. I debated, but I'm glad I left them in because it added just another bit of color. So there it is, guys, all done. Any of these cakes could be done separately by themselves as a single cake or put together in kind of a collage. I hope you liked it. I hope you got something from it. And if you would, please like, subscribe, share, do all the things, guys. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my video. And if you'd like to watch some other videos, go ahead and click on the link to one of these other videos shown here. And if you would like to check out my other social media, I am on Facebook and Instagram under the same name, Sophisticakes by Mary. And please take the time to share, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you know when I upload another video. Thank you so much. And we'll catch you on the next tutorial.